For the next section is the House believes that booster vaccine is not necessarily applied to citizen, and SMA negeri 2 apa as the affirmative team? Negative team? Alright, yeah. And SMA negeri 1 apa as the affirmative team? So for both teams, please come on the stage and take your voting position. Educators, ready? Timekeeper ready? Alright. Now I will give chance to the affirmative team to introduce the team. Please.
Okay. Good morning, the honorable teacher, judges, or adjudicators, timekeepers, and all my beloved audience. First of all, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Frian Robert. You can call me Frian. I'm taking a part on this team as the first speaker.
My name is Ahmadiyah Dosinokas. I am here as the second speaker of the team. Hello, my name is Leslie Martinato Edo, or you can call me Leslie, as the third speaker of the team. Before we start our debate section today, we would like to present to you something.
COVID-19 sufferers, what do you think about this case? Thank you.
Okay, the booster vaccine can prevent the coronavirus but infected by 91%. Okay? Okay, I will continue. And there is 3 points that I like to present in my argument. First, at kominfo.co.id, the government has supported the booster vaccine by giving it free. Not only that, at megapolitan.compass.com, the government has made the booster vaccine a ticket for going home or mudik lebaran. And at katadata.co.id, the government has also tested the safety of booster vaccine, and booster vaccines have no serious side effect. And secondly, in my opinion, with many guarantees for the current government, isn't this proof that the booster vaccine are necessary to appear? Okay, and the last point that I like to present is the POM agency supported the government efforts in the national vaccination program by accelerating the evolution process and issuing the emergency use authorization for the COVID-19 vaccine as a strategic effort in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. And for
please. Okay, so you said that the side effects of booster vaccine are not serious. My own grandpa, after getting a shot of booster vaccine, he was being sick for about 1 month. He felt dizzy, feverish, and losing appetite, and throw up many times.
Okay.
What do you think about this case?
Okay, I said his next booster vaccine has no serious side effect, but it has several side effects. Not have. I didn't say not have side effect. Okay. I will continue my argument. And from health perspective, there are at least 3 important things and important reasons why booster vaccines are needed. First, there is tendency to decrease the number of antibodies since 6 months after vaccination, especially in the midst of the emergency of new COVID-19 variants, including Omicron, Delta, and Alpha variant. And referring to the meta-analysis and regression analysis by Beckett and colleagues in 2021, it is known that effectiveness of vaccine that have received for World Health Organization has decreased by 8% in activity in the last 6 months in all age groups. And from economic point of view, giving booster vaccine will revive the Indonesian economy in order to avoid a crisis. Okay, so what do you think about that? Thank you.
Is it enough? Okay, thank you. Now, chance to the second speaker of our team to deliver their second argument about the motion.
Okay, thank you for the time given to me. As I said before, I'm here as the second speaker of the team. And I was supervising by giving arguments about the motion given. That is, the House believes that booster vaccine is not necessarily applied to citizens. But before I deliver my arguments, I get some points from the first opposition team. First, there is we're going to choose by booster vaccine, and also booster vaccine can strengthen our antibodies. And also, booster vaccine is free for all of us. You also say there is no serious side effects from booster vaccine. But I don't agree with arguments, because even though booster vaccine can reduce the impact of COVID-19 sufferer's body, but there is no guarantee that that someone who has been vaccinated to booster vaccine will be one of will not be one of COVID-19 sufferers. And also booster vaccine. No, thank you. I will continue my arguments. Okay. You say booster vaccine is free for all of us, but don't you know that booster vaccine is only for one who is 18 years old or older than it. So what about us who still can't get the vaccine? What if we confirm to COVID-19? Not only that, but I also have some arguments why I agree that booster vaccine is not necessarily applied to citizens. First, booster vaccine has the same function as the first and second vaccine. That's to reduce the impact in COVID-19 sufferers and to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in Indonesia. In my opinion, it's okay if booster vaccine is not applied to citizens, because as we know that we have felt the impact of first and second vaccines.
For opponent team, you still have time to the audience.
Those are the arguments. No, thank you. This way.
I want to be honest.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so according to current research, that booster vaccines can increase antibodies
Please stand up.
by 97%, which is very useful for our antibodies. Then what do you think about this?
Thank you for asking. But as we know that we can feel the impacts of first and also second vaccine. First and second vaccine also can decrease the impact of COVID-19 in our body. So I think booster vaccine is not necessarily applied to citizens. Okay, I will continue my arguments. Booster vaccine can decrease the number of COVID-19 sufferers and the death rate, and it decreases drastically, especially in East SUMBA. This is a fact, and we can feel it, because the first and second vaccine can decrease the number of COVID-19 sufferers and the death rate. And this condition also makes us don't be as afraid as when we have been vaccinated when you're talking about COVID-19. The impacts of the impact of first and second vaccine are more than enough for us. So that's why booster vaccine is not necessarily applied to citizens. Sure.
According to the results from side, after 6 months of the second visit.
Turn on your microphone, please. Turn on.
According to the result Muriel and several slides, after 6 months of the second vaccine period, the effectiveness of the first and the second dose of vaccine decreases, and that's where the booster vaccine function. And so why are the first and the second dose of vaccine are sufficient? Isn't it dangerous to speculate on a vaccine that loses its effectiveness? Thank you.
The first and second vaccine are very effective. So we don't need booster vaccine because the first and second vaccine can decrease the number of COVID-19 sufferers and also the death rate. Okay? And now I will continue my argument. Booster vaccine doesn't guarantee that we won't be one of patients with COVID-19. Booster vaccine can reduce the impact of COVID-19 in our body. But what's the difference between booster vaccine and the first and second vaccine? We can reduce the impact of COVID-19 by using first and second vaccine. The government give us this regulation because they want to decrease the spread of COVID-19, but the spread of COVID-19 has decreased because the first and second vaccine. And also the government has to spend money to buy booster vaccine for all of us. But booster vaccine has the same function as the first and second vaccine. So in my opinion, it's better if the government saves the money and then they can use it for something useful. For example, they give them free of vitamins to people who need them, but they can't buy it. So their immune will be stronger and it will reduce the number of COVID-19 sufferers and the death rate. Next, the impacts of them being vaccinated using booster vaccine are so bad. Many people get fever, tired, cramps on their hand, even they can't do anything after being vaccinated using booster vaccine. This is a fact, because my auntie's sister is a health worker, and she got the impacts of booster vaccine as what I have mentioned before. This condition is worse than after being vaccinated using the first and second vaccine. So, for what do we get booster vaccine? So for what do we get booster vaccine if the functions of booster vaccine and the first and second vaccine are just the same? So that's all arguments. In conclusion, we can say that booster vaccine is not necessarily applied to citizens because booster vaccine has the same function as the first and second vaccine. But the first and second vaccine can reduce the impact of COVID-19, and also the first and second vaccine can reduce the number of COVID-19 sufferers and the death rate. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, 6 minutes 43 seconds.
Okay, 6 minutes for the second speaker of affirmative team. Now we come to the second speaker of negative team to deliver their argument.
Okay, thank you.
Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for the chance that has given back to our team. The honorable educator, ladies and gentlemen, and all these participants in this debate competition, especially for our partner from the affirmative team. Our team is strongly agree with this motion. Our team is strongly disagree with this motion that booster vaccines are not necessary vaccines. You say that the first dose and second dose of vaccine can still reduce the impact of vaccination, okay? But I think in this pandemic situation, ladies and gentlemen, we need something to boosting our body's immunity, and the booster vaccine is the right way to boosting our body's immunity in this pandemic situation. Okay? Our team is strongly agree with the implementation of booster vaccines in the community because booster vaccine can increase the body's immunity. The body's immune system will usually decrease after 6 months, so a booster vaccine will be indeed beneficially the body's immune system. We need something to boosting our body's immunity in this pandemic situation. As we know that booster vaccines are vaccines that are used to increase our body's immune system, so we don't get infected by the virus. So if the booster vaccine is not given, there are some further implications that will be obtained to the citizen. The first is the body's immunity will be decreased significantly after 6 months after the second dose is given. So if the booster vaccine is not given, more people, even the citizen, will be infected by the virus. Secondly, if the booster vaccine is not please I'm speaking. If the booster vaccine is not given, I mean the compromised patient will die when there are many new virus variants. Okay, and there are some people's point of view based on this booster vaccine. The first that people who have been interviewed by Metro TV on January 11, 2022 said that booster vaccines are needed because they think the first and second dose of vaccines are still not enough to protect the body from virus. So a booster vaccines are needed for the citizen. The secondly is, as reported on ugm.ac.id, Faculty of Medicine, Public Health and Nursing Virus expert Dr. Muhammad Saifuddin Hakim said that giving the booster vaccine was indeed beneficial for increasing the body's immunity, which was obtained from the previous 2 doses of vaccine. AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Pfizer vaccines are the types of vaccines are quite effective in increasing antibodies. Yes, please.
Okay, so you said that booster vaccine can make you doesn't have any impact to your body, and that will make you can prevent the virus. But based on the Ministry of Health, I took that information that says the vaccination, the free vaccine, does ensure your body's immune to get prevent from the contagiousness of COVID-19. So could you give any proof from that?
Okay. What's the date of the information is released, please? Because in new information that in Israeli, the country, the booster vaccine it can increase by 94 times of immune system. Okay, is that enough?
But that doesn't ensure that you could prevent the contagiousness of COVID-19. Could you give any proof from that?
In the Israel, did not get it what I'm saying? But in Israel, the booster vaccine is getting back the body's immunity, which is like 17 times. Do you not get what I'm saying?
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. There are some points of arguments I would like to give to you guys. The first, that booster vaccine can increase the body's immunity significantly. The body's immune system will usually decrease after 6 months. You are please, please I'm speaking. So a booster vaccine will be needed to boost the body's immune system, which is in this pandemic situation, ladies and gentlemen, we need something to boosting our body's immunity. Yes, please.
Okay, booster vaccine can reduce the impact of COVID-19 in our bodies. But what about us? Who still can get booster vaccine? Booster vaccine is only for someone who is 18 years old or older than it. What if we confirm to COVID-19? What do you think about it?
I mean, the booster vaccine can increase the body's immunity significantly. I just say that. The booster vaccine can increase the 97% of the people.
Sorry, but vaccine, how can we prevent the impact of COVID-19 in our body? We can use the first and second vaccine.
Because we need something to boost our immune system in this particular situation. Do you not get what I say?
Attention please. Attention please.